As on the previous evening, Bavragor sits apart from the others. But tonight, he waves you over.
Smeralda, my sister. You want to know what happened, right?
You nod and sit down.
She followed Boindle into battle. We tried to talk her out of it, but she was as unyielding as a mountain. Then came the day when the High Pass was attacked.
Bavragor drinks from his liquor.
He killed her. Blinded by the frenzy of battle, he thought she was one of the enemy. I could never forgive him. He killed my sister. Could you?
You inevitably remember the loss of Lotyonen, Frala, and her children. You remain sitting in silence, each of you deep in thought. Boendal approaches, having either heard you or guessing what you were talking about.
His fierce life forge is a curse. He thought the orcs had robbed him of his love, and the ire came over him. Sometimes he calls her name in his dreams. Oh, he'd never admit it, but he suffers just like Bavragor. He too loved her.
The stonemason doesn't react, so you and Boendal go back to the others by the fire. Your path leads you once again to the Minstrel Castle Tavern. You enter the tavern. You go to... You nod at the landlady. Bavragor... You enter Seaton and take a look. The priest is lost in thoughts.
The roof of the granary is leaky. We saw some rotten wooden plank.
Again? Morris only had the roof repaired.
Did he? If he didn't, some of the grain...
Out of the question. Morris would have reported that. He checks the grain once a month and there were no complaints.
The priest has absolutely no doubt in what he is saying, often a sign that someone hasn't thought things over.
We have found the thieves...
Really? That's welcome news.
We spoke to the people there. It was very...
And?
The priest gives you the same look he otherwise uses to reprimand the villagers' minor sins.
They say they paid Morris to sell supplies and grain to them.
The priest wants to object.
He ripped them off. That would be an explanation as to why Tavia came back this morning, don't you think?
The cogs are turning inside the priest's head. His expression reveals that he doesn't like his own conclusions.
And what about the grain and the supplies?
The supplies and the grain, you won't see any of it again. We were too late.
The priest eyes you in silence, and you look back without batting an eyelid.
I am not sure whether you have earned a reward, Mr. Dwarf.
The priest brings out a small pouch. He counts a few coins into your hand. When you enter the strongly fortified mountain village, you see a large group of miners standing around a shaft in heated discussion.
I really saw them, I swear!
A young man in mining clothes defiantly stares at an older man who is a good head taller than him.
Even if you did, smashing the lift hoist, it would have been better to have not sent the cage down again until we cleared this thing up.
Is there a problem?
The older man, perhaps a foreman, is so angry that he hardly seems to have realized that he's talking to a dwarf.
Mika here says that he saw orcs in the mine, and he smashed the lift hoist to bits. The cage has crashed to the bottom of the shaft. How are we supposed to work now?
Can we help you somehow?
Help? Well, we'll have to repair the hoist, and we need a new cage.
The foreman turns to a man next to him for answers. He's just as muscular, with dirty, calloused hands and an angular face.
It will take at least 2 weeks, but we don't need any help, unless you can speed up time.
I'll need 1 day. 2 at the most, if there are problems.
The foreman looks aghast at the technicus, unsure whether he's joking or not.
1 day? Have you got any idea how...
Fergus is the most talented Magister Technicus in Girdlegard. And anyway, what have you got to lose? Let him help.
As long as he doesn't get in my way,
The worker shrugs his shoulders.
why not?
Good. Then we'll help you. But we would like provisions for it. 30 rations.
Sure, if you pull it off, the provisions are yours. You really trust in your skills, don't you? Mika, give him a hand.
Fergus immediately gets to work, examining the hoist. After a few moments, he sends Mika off with a list of tools and spare parts, and explains to you after half a day the cage is operational again, but Fergus is still busy with the hoist. You just hear him muttering.
So far, there is no automatic brake in case the ropes snap, but it shouldn't be too hard to fit one.
Fergus decides to fit the automatic brake, but it takes more time than expected. Building the hoist from scratch would have been simple, but in the end it takes 2 days until the lift is operational again.
You've kept your part of the deal, we'll keep ours.
You travel down into the mine in the repaired lift. Mika shows you the place where he saw the orcs, and you follow the winding gallery. After 1,000 paces, you stopped counting, and only after several hours do you reach an exit. There's a stench of tallow in the air. The tunnel leads directly into a huge orc camp, which blocks the pass into Snowdale Valley. If you attacked from here, you'd have the element of surprise on your side.
I could go and take a look and perhaps improve our chances for an attack.
You remember how the actor had transformed himself into Lot Yonin and Nudin in Mifidania. You certainly wouldn't bet against him.
I'll come with you. If I stay in the shadows, they won't see me.
The actor nods gratefully.
I'll come too. I also know how to keep myself hidden.
Nomura wants to object, but you are quicker.
Thank you, Geralda. 2 more eyes and ears would be helpful on such a mission. Listen, try to sabotage their defenses, and if you can safely take out a couple of guards, then do it. But don't take any big risks. Come back here if things get too hairy.
Nomura and Rodario rejoin you without any particular urgency. The infiltration was a complete success. No one detected the 2 of them. The guards are much more alert now since the infiltration of the orc camp. You have delivered a serious blow to your enemy, and an attack should now be significantly easier. You enter the orc camp with your companions. You have a long way ahead of you.
At your service. Ah, I understand. Excellent choice. Over there, gladly. Ah, I understand. Excellent choice. Over there, gladly. Excellent choice. Over there, gladly. Excellent choice. Over there, gladly. Excellent choice. Ah, I understand. Excellent choice.
And what now? Yes, yes. I'm with you. Yes, yes. Of course. Yes, yes. I'm with you. Yes, yes. I'm with you. Of course. Yes, yes. Of course. Yes, yes. I'm with you. Yes, yes. I'm with you. Yes, yes. Of course. Ha ha. Huzzah! Of course. What is it?
Yes? Oh. Ah, I understand. Over there, at your service.
What is it? Ha ha! Yes, yes. Who's next? Come here, you. Ha ha! Yes?
Huh? Oh. On guard!
Huh? Yes, yes! I'm with you! What is it? Huh?
At your
What
service.
now? On my way! As good as done! On my way! As good as done! All right! On my way! As good as done! All right! On my way! As good as done! On my way! All right! On my way! All right! As good as done! All right! On my way! As good as done! All right! On my way! All right! On my way! As good as done! Oh, what bad luck for you! All right! With pleasure! All right! Oh, what bad luck for you! On my way! As good as done! On my way! With pleasure! As good as done! All right! On my way! With pleasure! Say goodbye forever! On my way! All right! As good as done! All right! As good as done! On my way! All right!
Guy?
Huh? Of course! I'm with you! Yes!
At your service. Over there, glad. Patience, I'll be ready soon.
And what? What is it? As good as done! On my way! As good as done! Ow! Another one bites the dust! As good as done! On my way! All right! Oh, what bad luck for you!
I understand. Excellent choice. I understand.
Yes! On my way! All right! Oh, what bad luck for you! Say goodbye forever, with pleasure.
Your demise is inevitable.
As good as done. All right. On my way. And what now? Yes, yes. I'm with you.
Another victory.
Yes, yes. What is it? All right. On my way. All right.
Oh. Over there, glad. Excellent choice.
What is it? Yes?
Understood. At once. On my way. At once. Understood. At once. Understood. At once. On my way. At once. On my way. At once. On my way. At once. Understood. At once. On my way. Attack! And again. Fabracus! At once. Understood.
Yeah! Ow! Another one bites the dust.
At once. Yes?
On my way.
Stand.
A hard path lies ahead of you, down into the valley, and then up into the snow-covered mountains. It will be difficult, if not impossible, to climb back. You reach a large frozen lake surrounded by a thick pine forest. The quickest way would be to walk straight over the ice, but you don't know how stable it is. The detour through the forest would be safer, but the snow between the trees is deep and you make very slow progress. The shadows are growing longer, and when you finally make it, it makes more sense to set up camp for the night than to wander through the woods in the dark. You light a while you rest under a ledge at noon. Rodario and Fergus decide to go ice fishing, and the dwarves immediately pronounce their opposition.
Ice and water are both treacherous. They entice you to them. Before you know it, you disappear into them forever.
Like in a marriage, you mean? At first, the woman entices you, but if you stay in her arms like a good boy, the good life is over all too quickly.
The good life, in which you go behind the backs of other men, get beaten up, and one day die painfully of a sexually transmitted disease.
All slander, my dear.
Rodario bares his teeth for a moment and then follows Fergus to the shore.
He reminds me of a billy goat we used to have. Mounted everything that got in its way. One day, he mounted a goat that was standing too close to a cliff. The two of them fell down the cliff in the best of spirits.
It snows all day, and the cold wind continues to get stronger. The dwarves trudge stubbornly on, but at some point Fergus can take it no longer.
Oh, we are walking right into the eye of a blizzard. We have snowstorms in the Brown Range too. If you get caught in a storm while hunting, you simply wait it out in a snow cave.
The blizzard will be on us before we can build a snow cave. We should...
Instead of looking for a shelter, you simply go to some crags nearby and shovel up some snow on the sides to make a windbreak. You feel better almost as soon as you leave the biting wind. Fergus lights an alchemic fire, and the closeness of your companions ensures a reasonably warm night. By the next morning, the blizzard has blown. Your path leads you over a snowy, hilly plain, and as you scale a particularly steep hill, you falter. A crevasse opens out in front of you. You look around, but there isn't any point nearby where you could cross over the gap. You follow the course of the crevasse. After an hour, the end of the crevasse is still not in sight. However, you do find a cave that slopes down softly parallel to the crevasse. After half a day's march, you finally reach a place where you can safely go around the crevasse. You finally arrive at the entrance to a valley that curves its way towards Ironhald, the firstling stronghold.
By Vracus, we've done it!
Get down!
Up there!
Run! I can't maintain the spell for long!
Put him on Goimgar's shield. To the gate. Quick!
As you approach the first gate, you see guards on the battlements. You call as you run.
By Vracus, we are dwarves of the kingdoms of the secondlings and the fourthlings. Open the gate!
Their leader gives orders that you cannot hear, but moments later, the gate opens up for you.
Report back! Man the walls and the defences!
The guards follow the orders immediately.
Who are you that lead the Alpha to our door?
How dare you speak to us like that? Dwarf who seems to have no name?
Boindale steps forward before you can stop him.
I am Boindale Doubleblade, a child of the smith of Burrowin folk. And that is my brother Boindale, who needs a healer immediately.
The commander pulls down his scarf, and his face leaves you speechless.
Only a dwarf could make such a fuss. Balland Steelfinger. I protect the main gate of the firstlings, therefore it is my duty to regard all guests precisely before I invite them in.
But you are a woman.
You have a keen eye, Boindale Doubleblade.
The tender features and soft fluff leave no room for doubt. A female dwarf is the commander of the guard. She gives orders for the
Stay with your brother. I will bring the rest of you to Queen Zamtis, where you can explain what you're doing here.
Come closer, and be welcome to the kingdom of the firstlings.
I am Tungdil Goldhand of the Fourthling Kingdom.
You introduce your companions one by one, not forgetting to mention the twins and the Mager too. You then explain the reason for your visit. You report on the advance of the Perish land, the death of the Magi, and the dispute about the next High King. The dark brown eyes of the Queen fix on you for a moment before she speaks.
What you report sounds very serious, Tungdil. You can be sure of the support of the firstlings. How may we assist you?
There is only one way to defeat Nodon. Keenfire. To forge it, we need the best smith your kingdom has to offer. Help us, and thus help your kingdom, my queen.
The Queen considers, then nods.
So be it. Could there ever be a better time to revive the old commonality of the kingdoms? Balandis here is not only my best warrior, she is also my best smith. She will accompany you.
Your eyes fall upon Balandis, and you notice the blood rushing to your cheeks.
I will do my best. You can trust in my axe and my hammer.
We must continue on our journey to the Fifthlings in the Grey Range.
Then I will show you the entrance to the tunnels. You will be in the Perish land within a few orbits.
You know the tunnels, but still the Firstlings live in seclusion.
Our isolation was self-imposed. My mother knew that the other kingdoms would not simply accept her as the queen. She wanted to give them time to get used to it.
Your Highness, in the name of the Council of the Kingdoms, I request that you send a delegation to the Blue Range to take part in the discussions. We all have a common enemy.
There has never been any enmity between my kingdom and the others. It was more neglected friendship and habit that has made us strangers to one another. As soon as you set off for the Grey Range, we will head east to see our brothers and sisters again. I will have rooms prepared for you and your companions so that you can rest. It has been some time since we have had guests, but we still know what hospitality means. Come to me when you are ready to depart.
Hello.
What is it, Tungdil?
It would seem that a lot of important positions are occupied by female dwarves in the Firstling Kingdom.
Is it not common where you come from that men and women share the duties?
Of course. Among the humans and the Secondlings, the women help out in the house so that the men have time for their duties. That's how it is written in the books, too.
Here, posts are assigned according to the skills of the applicant, not gender. It's only natural that the most important posts are occupied by women.
She winks at you and gives you a knowing glance, although the whole thing still befuddles you.
What is it like living with the Firstlings? I haven't seen much yet, but many things seem to be different to life with the Secondlings in Ogre's Death.
I can't make any real comparisons either. I grew up here and have never left our kingdom. I can hardly wait to see the halls of the Fifthlings. They were the best smiths before we took on the mantle.
Don't expect too much. Their halls have been in the hands of the enemy for over 1,000 cycles.
I read that the orcs avoid the stronghold, as if there were a curse on it.
Even reading doesn't seem to be frowned upon among the Firstlings. You feel at home here. But that isn't only down to the books.
See you later.
You guess that this water powers all the machines in the underground city. A masterpiece of engineering.
Ah, I was wondering when you would pay me a visit.
I thank you, and Jeroen. You appeared at the right moment. May I, ask why?
It was down to you. Your speech about the responsibility I owe to my realm.
Lot Yonan was a good teacher.
Her face darkens when she thinks of her old companion.
There are 100 reasons that Nodon deserves to die. That is why I went back to the Secondlings and took another look through the books. I discovered a passage that said Keenfire can only take its effect against evil when it is wielded by a foe of the Undergrounders.
A foe of the Undergrounders? It's going to be difficult to persuade an orc to help us.
I didn't mean to eavesdrop, but I think I might have an answer to the problem. The Alpha are also your foes, aren't they?
What the...
Half human, half elf. My mother bequeathed me her gifts and her weapons. I got very little from my father, but his eyes are an advantage.
And you're sure that only a foe of the Undergrounders can use Keenfire?
Anyone can use it like a normal axe, but only a foe of the Undergrounders can command its magical powers. I don't know much about her, but a half-elf should pass as a foe of all dwarves.
All right then. You will wield Keenfire in the battle against Nodon. But we're going to have to make it first.
You said it.
The actress takes her leave with a little nod.
How are things with Jarun? Could you help him?
He's doing well. He should be back to full strength after some rest.
You still don't know what kind of being is hidden under the armor, but the Mager's powers seem to have done a good job.
The Firstlings have offered to improve his armor, and when one of the best smiths in Girdlegard offers something like that, you should definitely take them up on it.
How are you and your powers? You look a little exhausted.
I won't lie to you. It has already been too long since I was in a place where I can draw new strength. My power is trickling away like water from a leaky pipe.
Is that perhaps a way to weaken Nodon?
No, I wouldn't count on that. Even if we could keep him away from the magical realms, the being that lives within him has given him unknown powers.
How was Sinthras able to overcome your shield? Can Alfar use magic?
No, certainly not. I don't know much about their people, but I think they have innate powers. Conjuring darkness, extinguishing fire, changing dreams. Little things that fill humans with fear and ensure the potency of terrifying legends about their people. Sinthrast used a trick, not a spell. We killed 2 Alfar near Sovereignstone. They had crystals on them which they had received from Nod-On to protect them from the spells of the Magi. He must have used a stone like that.
Take some rest. And I hope you'll still be here at dawn.
The Mager gives you a reproachful look.
Don't worry. We'll stand by you until this expedition has reached its destination.
It feels good having the Mager and her companion at your side again. Geralda looks depressed.
You look like something's bothering you.
It's just... they avoid me. You're the only one who talks to me.
Yeah, well, you did try to kill us when we first met you.
Geralda gives a wry smile.
Not exactly the best of first impressions, right?
You're not a bad person, Geralda. Just give them some time. You said you wanted to join the Free Folk. What do you know about them?
To be honest, I don't know very much at all. It is said they are like a kingdom, just without a kingdom. No clans, no obligations and traditions, no repressive expectations. Just dwarves living together.
And where do I find them?
Everywhere, and nowhere. They hide. I think I almost found one of their cities.
See you later.
It is simply legendary. No, it is mythical. We definitely need a large theatre so we can convey the impression of this grandeur to the spectators.
It's going to be difficult, but we'll manage it. But it will be more expensive.
It would appear you like it here.
Like it? It is fabulous. I almost feel like giving up. Not even the best of illusions could possibly imitate this. But say, what brings you to us, Tungdil?
Why didn't you say that Nomura is half-elf?
If our spectators knew, they would run away screaming. So I'm sure you'll understand that we couldn't tell a group of armed dwarves either.
You have to admit that you don't know how you would have reacted if Nomura had revealed herself in Mifodania. Fear and hatred of the Alpha is deeply rooted.
You already know her, Tungdil. She has skills, but her lineage does not determine how she thinks and acts. She is the love of my life, and I would go crazy if I were to lose her.
Every step from here on is more dangerous than the last. Are you sure you want to continue on our journey with us?
Of course. Every story needs an end. What kind of play would it be without a third act?
There is no way I'm going to let Nomura ride into battle on her own. I will be there to assist her.
And how is your new play coming along?
Good, very good. The band of adventurers who set off to defeat Nodon aid...
Do you already have a title?
I haven't decided for sure yet, but at the moment I'm thinking along the lines of...
I must go. Rest now.
Rest? Haven't you seen? There are machines that keep the whole city alive. I must take a look.
Tungdil.
How is he?
He's lost a hell of a lot of blood.
The crazy glint in Boindale's eyes has given way to serious concern.
I'm doing fine.
You must rest, brother. Stay on your back so the wounds can heal. Fortunately, he hasn't lost his pig-headedness. As long as he has that, he'll come through.
Boindale forces a grin, but you can imagine what he's really thinking and feeling.
I thought Antakai was going to look after him. Didn't her magic help?
We don't want her help. Magic is no use. And we certainly don't want anything to do with Samerson.
You know there is no point arguing with the twins about magic. There is too much of a fine line between conviction and stubbornness. Boindale would rather die than be healed by the Maga.
We'll have to go on without him. He won't manage more than 100 paces without dropping down dead the state he's in.
No! I'll manage, Scholar. Just give me 2 orbits, then I'll be fine. It's just a scratch.
Boindale tries to stand up, but he doesn't have the strength. You shake your head.
Stay here and recover, Boindale. We'll meet you again in time for the big battle against Nodon. You have done your bit.
But where one of us is, the other is too. It is the greatest deed that has ever been carried out by our people. Oh. It would seem you are right, Scholar.
We'll be separated for the first time in our lives. I will miss you by my side in battle. The first 100 runts will be for you.
You will have to protect him and the others on your own now, brother. Don't take on too much, and rein in your frenzy. You must control your anger better than you usually do. Promise me.
I promise.
Tears run down the bearded cheeks of the 2 twins. They have never had to part like this before.
Greetings, Queen Xantis.
The Queen bows her head slightly, prompting you to speak.
Please excuse me for asking, Your Highness, but how is it that a queen is sitting on the firstling throne?
The Queen smiles. She has clearly been expecting the question.
It began with an argument. My father valued my mother's advice, but disputed her ability to lead the kingdom. This frustrated her, and she demanded the chance to prove the contrary. In the end, they agreed that my mother would govern the firstlings for 14 orbits. During this time, there was an attack by trolls, and my mother put them to flight with cunning and bravery. When my father demanded the throne again, she defied him, and the clans followed her. The other kingdoms were appalled and refused to receive my mother, but our kingdom saw that she was a good queen. And when she died 230 cycles ago, the people demanded that I should follow her onto the throne.
Is everything ready for our journey to the kingdom of the Fiflings?
We have provided wagons for you and your companions. Are your preparations complete?
Yes, we are ready.
The Queen nods slowly.
Rally your companions. I will march east with my host, but don't be misled. The fate of the perished land is in your hands, not mine. May you succeed and return unhurt. Vrakas be with you.
The plains of Tabain are the most fertile in Girdlegard, and rightly give the kingdom its nickname of the breadbasket. The east of the land has been in revolt since the perished land advanced, and the peace seems to have broken in the heartland too, as a group of strangers crawl out of a hole in the ground.
Why don't we just look for a tunnel that hasn't collapsed?
And what if we don't find one? If we're overground, we at least know that there's a way, even if it's dangerous. Let's go.